The View. It's like, it's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Like, it's like here, let's look at this political oddity. You know, it's like, it really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows. So let me rephrase that. But The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. You know, how can you now speak the truth when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego.
Sonny Hostin found out the hard way.
Really were
you can't walk into a fiery debate with weak arguments while the other side is fully loaded. Kat Timpf and Greg Gutfeld didn't just challenge her, they completely tore her apart. Together, they turned the discussion into a public meltdown she wasn't ready for.
He's such a group. It's amazing how Joy and Whoopi became the smart ones.
For me, the most shocking thing about the conversation was how truly boring it was. We're like, well, the cicadas, they're cicadas. Okay, but it was like every 100 years. No, it's every 17 years. Do you know how many Emmys this show has? 31.
31 Emmys?
This show has 31. I mean, I'd hate to see the conversations that don't make headlines.
Sonny Hostin was having a normal week, or at least as normal as it gets when your job is sitting at a table on national television pretending your opinion is gospel. The View was rolling along smoothly, like a high school group project where everyone pretends they're not judging each other, but is absolutely judging each other. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, came the storm.
Now to some news. The feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for...
Our view on The View. Ugh.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently, the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say. Hit it, Gladys.
They said that Gutfeld talks about you all the time.
Who is he? Well, really, who is he?
I don't watch the show.
He has a show.
I don't watch the
never
show.
heard of him.
Yeah.
I guess he's just obsessed with me.
Next, Joy's going to say she's never heard of
Sonny Hostin recently had an experience on live television that many would describe as a slow and painful unraveling. It wasn't just a casual disagreement or a tough debate. It was something far deeper. It was a roast that hit so hard it felt like watching someone's public image crack under the pressure of sarcasm, wit, and carefully delivered jokes. And no, this wasn't just about two sides disagreeing on politics. This was something different. It was personal. It was sharp, and it was unforgettable. It all started like a normal day on TV. Sonny was seated, camera ready, confident, and doing what she usually does, sharing her opinions with the kind of authority that suggests her words are facts. It's the typical setup, a polished host, giving strong takes, assuming her point of view will stand unchallenged. But what she didn't expect was what came next. From seemingly out of nowhere, the energy shifted. It wasn't a minor interruption or a simple back and forth. The mood transformed fast. What looked like a calm TV panel turned into something closer to a comedy ambush. Picture a group project in high school where everyone's pretending to work together, but deep down they're secretly hoping someone else fails. That was the vibe, but dialed up under the pressure of bright studio lights and a national audience. That's when Kat Timpf and Greg Gutfeld made their move. And it wasn't loud or aggressive, it was smooth, sneaky, and smart. They didn't yell, they didn't call names. Instead, they used sarcasm and perfectly timed remarks like precision tools. What they did to Sonny wasn't just shade. It was a full-on breakdown of her entire TV personality. And the wildest part? Sonny didn't even realize it was happening until it was too late. Kat and Greg didn't need to scream or get dramatic. Kat came in quietly, almost sweetly, with that dry tone that makes even the harshest jokes sound polite. Greg followed up with his usual smirks and sharp jabs, directing the entire exchange like a conductor leading an orchestra of sarcasm. They didn't just tease Sunny. They picked apart her persona, the polished, righteous, always right version of herself that she brings to TV, and slowly peeled it back until it started to look a little ridiculous. And then came the moment that really shifted the room. It wasn't even loud. There wasn't shouting or big reactions. But what Kat said next made the studio.
But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. It now smells like a humid day inside Joy Behar's moo-moo. The motives stink worse than Joy Behar's jog bra. I mean, assuming she jogs. Oh, wait, there she is.
Or go quiet. It was one of those moments where you know a nerve has been hit, and everyone holds their breath for what happens next. But there was no dramatic confrontation. Sunny wasn't even in the room during the actual roast. That's what made it even more brutal. She got roasted without warning and without a chance to respond in real time. Kat made a comment that was playful on the surface, but underneath it was a full-on body blow to Sunny's credibility. She flipped Sunny's usual dramatic speeches into something laughable, and Greg backed it up, painting Sunny as someone completely out of touch with reality, a symbol of a talk show world too insulated to survive real criticism. They weren't just making jokes, they were tearing down everything Sunny stands for on screen. To be clear, Sunny didn't burst into tears. There was no on-air meltdown, but you could feel the shift. The confident voice began to waver. The speeches that once sounded powerful now felt stiff, like someone trying too hard to stay calm. It was the kind of subtle unraveling that happens slowly, with each small comment landing like a pinprick, one after another until the image starts to fall apart. Even Joy Behar, Sunny's longtime co-host, and usually her biggest supporter, seemed distant. She wasn't part of the roast, but her absence was noticed. In fact, the jokes even reached Joy, with snide remarks about her not showing up on certain days and jabs at her appearance and energy. The whole moment felt like watching a club of comedians decide it was time to take the polished daytime world down a notch, and Sunny was their main target. What's wild is that the aftermath said more than the roast itself. Sunny didn't fight back. She didn't tweet about it. She didn't do an emotional monologue. There wasn't even a vague Instagram post about staying strong or keeping your peace. Just silence. The kind of silence that says, "That hit harder than I want to admit." And on her next appearance, something felt different. Her energy was off. The tone was more defensive. The words came out a little too rehearsed. It was like watching someone try to rebuild their confidence while pretending they never lost it. She started leaning into long, overly complicated explanations, using big words like armor. It felt forced, like someone trying to reassert control after getting publicly humbled. That polished, always composed version of Sunny was slipping, and viewers noticed. The confident edge.
Were you pretty surprised that they didn't know what this show was?
No, I'm also not surprised that there's one part of the video from the show yesterday that you left out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, can we roll that, please?
I don't watch the show that much, but I've seen it.
Who is that? Who is that?
Greg Gutfeld's one of the hosts of The Five who... If I don't have anything nice to say, I generally don't say anything at all. I would just say this, his show should be called Kat Timpf, not Gutfeld, because she's the funny one on it.
Somebody's flirting with little Kat over here.
Well, she's the Republican one at the table, but I just think as a libertarian, I'm always looking to find common ground with other people because nobody really shares my politics. So I find some common ground in The View where she thinks I'm funny and I agree.
Had dulled. The sparkle was dimmed. Meanwhile, Kat and Greg carried on like nothing happened, because for them, this wasn't personal. This was just another day at the office. They roast people for a living. But for Sunny, who's used to being respected, even admired by a loyal daytime audience, it felt like a personal attack. And maybe that's why it stung so much. Because no matter how strong you think you are, No matter how much experience you have on TV, when people laugh at the very core of who you present yourself to be, it shakes you. And that's exactly what happened. Sunny's television persona got challenged in a way she wasn't prepared for. The sarcasm was so sharp, the jokes so layered that they didn't just call her out, they exposed the cracks in her image. And when someone's used to being seen as the voice of reason, the moral compass, the truth teller, that kind of hit leaves a mark. In the end, this wasn't just a roast, it was a wake-up call. A reminder that in today's media world, no one is untouchable. You can be as polished, smart, and confident as you want, but if you start believing your own hype and ignore the possibility of being questioned, the fall is going to hurt. And for Sunny Hostin, that fall happened live, in front of millions.
I just want to hit myself in the face so I can feel something. You know, it's like so boring. He's like, yeah, I like Instacart, but don't worry, I tip the pours. But, you know, Joy, you actually don't like Instacart, and you do like the store. And then Joy is like, yeah, I do. I like to go to the store. I like to walk around and see what's at the store, what I do want, what I don't want. Maybe I want tuna fish, and I just want to...
It was one of those moments you can't make up. So unexpected and so ruthless that it spread like wildfire. Sunny Hostin, who usually sits with confidence and speaks with authority on The View, ended up being the target of a roast so sharp, it didn't even require her to be in the same room. The joke? It wasn't just about her. It took a jab at her intelligence, claiming she believed the sun caused the solar eclipse. Everyone knows it's the moon's doing, and that one comment instantly turned Sunny into the punchline of the day. What made it worse? Timpf didn't even have to say much, just a smirk and some light sarcasm, and it was over. The damage was done before Sunny could blink. Then came the internet, and it lit up like a wildfire. TikTok creators turned Sunny's facial expressions into animated memes. Twitter exploded with reaction GIFs. YouTube commentators went full, detective analyzing her body language like it was a true crime documentary. Frame by frame, blink by blink, people treated it like national breaking news. The moment wasn't just funny, it became part of internet history. Sunny didn't just get roasted, she became the roast. Once that happens, there's no putting the fire out. Her loyal fans tried to do damage control, claiming everything was just fine, but anyone watching could see the truth. When you get publicly clowned by people who don't even step foot on your show, it leaves a scar. And this wasn't just about Sunny. It was a direct hit on The View itself. The polished...
The true sign of the apocalypse is someone that dumb has a law degree. Worse, if your name has the word sun in it, there's no excuse for not knowing how an eclipse works. But it's no surprise that Joy is the one who understands science. She's been on the science diet for years. They're turning on me. So that makes Sunny Hostin, who thinks climate change caused the solar eclipse, the dumbest of them all. Because everyone knows the moon caused the eclipse, which is controlled by The View's gravitational pull.